I got paid on a Friday. By Sunday night, I was staring at my account wondering if the bank made a mistake. 3 days. That's all it took to go from feeling rich to checking if I had enough for gas. And I didn't even do anything wild. No big splurge. No trip. It just evaporated. If that sounds familiar, I need you to hear this. You're not bad with money. There's a system working against you, and it switches on the second your paycheck lands. Let's get into it. We've all been sold the same lie about payday. The check hits, the number jumps, and for a few hours, you feel like you finally made it. You're a person with money now. And then the math starts happening in the background, where you can't see it, and by midweek, you're back to square one wondering what just happened. Here's the thing nobody explains. Going broke 3 days after payday isn't bad luck. It follows a pattern so predictable you could set a clock to it. Same spike, same crash, every cycle. And it keeps happening because almost everything about how your brain handles money is wired to betray you in exactly this window. The first 72 hours after you get paid are the most dangerous days for your bank account all month. That's when the biggest decisions get made and the guard goes down. So I want to walk you through what actually happens in those 3 days, step by step. Because once you can see the machine, you can stop feeding it. And it starts with something your banking app does to you the moment that money shows up. A trick of the eyes that makes you spend before you've even decided to. Open your banking app the day you get paid. What do you see? One big number, your balance. And your brain reads it as one thing. This is how much money I have. Except it's a lie. That number is the single most misleading thing on your phone. Because that balance isn't really your money. Most of it is already spoken for. Your rent is in there. Your car payment is in there. Your phone bill, your insurance, the card payment that's about to hit. All of it sitting inside that one happy number, pretending to be available. But it's not available. It's just money that hasn't left yet. Your brain doesn't do that subtraction automatically. It sees a big number and feels rich. There's a name for this. Economists call it mental accounting, the way we treat money differently depending on where it sits and what label it has. And the cruelest version is your checking account because it dumps everything into one pile and lets you believe the whole pile is yours. So picture day 1. Your balance says $2,000. Feels amazing. But $1,400 of that is already gone. Rent, bills, payments that just haven't been pulled yet. Your real spending money was never $2,000. It was $600. You just didn't see it because nobody put a label on it. This is why people swipe so freely the first day or two. The number's still high, so the brain says, we're fine, treat yourself. You're spending money that already belongs to your landlord. You just gotta hold it for a weekend. And here's what makes it worse. Most of those big automatic payments don't hit on day 1. They hit on day 3, 4, 5. So for the first couple of days, the illusion is at full strength. The money looks like it's there, right up until the exact moment it isn't. That gap between what your balance says and what you can actually spend, that's where broke is born. Not in some huge mistake, in a number that lied to you while you were feeling good. But the lie is only half of it. Because even when people know the money's committed, they still spend it. And the reason is buried in a part of your brain that physically cannot care about next week. Let me ask you something. Future you, the version that needs this money for rent in 3 weeks, how much do you actually care about that person right now? Be honest, because your brain barely cares about them at all. There's a hardwired glitch in how humans value time. We're obsessed with right now and almost blind to later. A reward today feels enormous. The same reward in a month feels like a rumor. Scientists call this present bias, and it's not a character flaw. It's standard equipment. Everyone's got it. Here's how you feel it working. $20 in your hand right now, or $25 next month. A lot of people grab the 20. The smaller, sooner reward wins, even though waiting is the better deal. That's present bias in one sentence. Now is loud. Later is a whisper. So watch what that does to you on payday. The money lands, you survived 2 more weeks of work, and your brain wants its prize immediately. The takeout. The thing in the cart you've been eyeing. You earned it, right? That I deserve this feeling is present bias wearing a costume. It dresses up a craving as a reward, and payday is when it's strongest, because that's when the money's most visible and your willpower's most relaxed. 40 here, 60 there. None of it feels like a real decision. It feels like living. The problem is future, you doesn't get a vote. Future you has to cover the bills with whatever's left. But future you isn't in the room on a Friday night. Only present you is there, and present you wants the prize now. This is the engine of the crash. Day 1 and day 2, present bias is driving, treating every dollar like spare change. Then the bills hit, present you vanishes, and future you shows up to an empty account holding the bag. So now you've got a balance that lies, and a brain that can't see past the weekend. You'd think it couldn't get worse. It does, because all those committed payments, they don't drift in gently. They land almost on top of each other, in one brutal stack, right when you least expect it. Here's where the trap actually springs. People assume their bills are spread evenly across the month. They're not. Most of your biggest recurring payments are timed to hit right after payday, and in a way, on purpose. Think about it. Rent's usually due at the start of the month. Credit card due dates often land just after a typical pay cycle, because that's when the company knows the money's there. Subscriptions renew on whatever day you first signed up. Buy now, pay later installments come due on their own schedule, and these things don't take turns. They pile up. So you get this cluster. Day 3, 4, 5, boom, boom, boom. Rent clears, the card payment hits, 2 subscriptions renew the same morning. A pay-in-4 installment for something you forgot you bought quietly pulls its share. In about 48 hours, the bulk of your paycheck just leaves. And remember, your brain already spent the first 2 days treating the full balance like fun money, so the stack hits a balance that's already been nibbled down. The money you thought was extra was actually the buffer that was supposed to absorb all this, and you spent your buffer on day 1. This is the moment people feel that drop in their stomach. You open the app expecting a few $100, and you see double digits. Where did it go? Nowhere weird. Exactly where it was always going. You just couldn't see the timing. And here's the part that really gets me. Buy now, pay later makes this so much worse, because it lets present you spend money future you hasn't even earned yet. You split a purchase into 4 easy payments, it feels painless, and then those payments march back month after month, landing right in the same post-payday pileup. You're not spending this paycheck, you're pre-spending the next 2. So the stack lands, the balance craters, and you're broke before the week is over. Which raises the real question, why does one bad cycle wipe you out completely? Why is there nothing to catch you? That, right there, is the difference between people stuck on this treadmill forever and people who finally step off. Here's the uncomfortable truth at the center of all this. The reason payday wipes you out isn't really the spending. It's that there's nothing underneath you, no cushion, no buffer, nothing between your paycheck and zero. When you live paycheck to paycheck, every cycle starts from empty. Money comes in, money goes out. You reset to nothing, over and over. There's no margin for one thing to go wrong. A surprise bill, a slow week, a car repair. Any one of those tips the whole thing over, because there was never any slack in the system. And this isn't some small, unlucky group. A huge share of Americans live exactly like this, somewhere around 6 in 10 by a lot of surveys, including plenty of people earning real money. It's not just a low-income thing. It's a no-buffer thing. People on good salaries still hit zero every cycle because their spending grew to swallow whatever they earn. Which brings me to the quiet villain. There's an old idea called Parkinson's law, and the money version goes like this. Your spending rises to match whatever you bring in. Get a raise, and somehow you're just as broke 6 months later, only now with a nicer apartment and a bigger car payment. The income went up. The buffer didn't. The lifestyle expanded to eat the difference. That's why more money never seems to fix it. They're not imagining it. Without a buffer, a bigger paycheck just means a bigger crash. You go broke on day 3 either way, the numbers are just larger, so the cycle feeds itself. The balance lies on day 1. Present bias spends it on day 2. The stack clears it on day 3, and with no cushion, you land right back at 0, waiting for the next check to start the same loop. Spike, crash, repeat. It can honestly feel like there's no way out. But there is. And it's not about earning more, and it's not about giving up everything fun. It's about quietly breaking one link in that chain, because once one link breaks, the whole loop falls apart. Let me show you where to hit it. You don't need a budget with 40 categories. You need to break the cycle in one place, and the easiest place is the very first lie: the balance. So here's the move that changes everything. Stop trusting the big number. The day you get paid, figure out what's actually committed: rent, bills, payments, the whole stack that's coming, and mentally pull it out of the picture. Whatever's left is your real number. That's the only money that was ever yours to spend. Some people move the committed part into a separate account the same day, so the spending account only ever shows what's truly free. The big number stops lying because you took its power away. Then, slowly, you build the one thing the whole cycle depends on you not having: a buffer, even a small one. The goal isn't to get rich, it's to put a little distance between your paycheck and zero, so one bad week doesn't reset your whole life. Start with whatever you can. The point is just to stop landing on empty every cycle. And before the next treat yourself moment, ask one question: is this present me spending future me's rent? That one pause kills a shocking number of day one mistakes. That's the whole game. You can't out-earn this trap. People making twice what you make are stuck in the same loop. The only way out is to stop letting day one fool you, and to build a little ground under yourself so day three stops being a cliff. Do that, and payday stops being a sugar high followed by a crash. It just becomes a normal day where the number means what it says. If this made you look at your bank balance a little differently, hit subscribe, because that's the whole point of this channel. The money stuff hiding in plain sight that nobody bothers to explain. And I'm genuinely curious. Drop a comment and tell me the first thing you buy every time you get paid. I'll go first. For me, it's takeout. Every payday, without fail, before I've thought about a single bill. See you in the next one.